Hey, thanks for joining me today. Today we're going to talk about discrimination. Hopefully some of the things I say will help you to avoid the possibility of a discrimination claim. So what are the protected classes? Well, we have race and color, we have familial status, military status, gender, we've got a little bit of criminal background, criminal history that we've got to be careful with. We've got gender, and we've got to throw in there sexual orientation because although it may not be one now, it will be a protected class. And probably the biggest one that you see the most complaints in is disabilities. So when you look at race and color, pretty straightforward. Just don't make that part of your analysis because we don't care what the race of somebody is. We don't care anything about things like that, because you can see race and you can see color, and likewise national origin. You can kind of tell national origin sometimes, but it's harder and harder to tell because America is such a melting pot. So it's not something that we care about in the analysis. Familial status basically means people that have children. It's something that we may have a limit in on our bedrooms, for instance, 2 persons per bedroom or something, but we don't really get into male, female children, things like that, so you want to leave that out of your analysis. Military service and status, generally this has not been a problem because not many people care about whether someone has military status or in the military or not, but there are some issues if someone gets deployed that they can be released from their lease with a 30-day periodic notice, and we can talk about that at a later time. The other one, gender and age, those don't come up too often, but sexual orientation is starting to come up all over, so we've got to be careful with that and not discriminate there because, again, who cares? You're renting a unit. You're renting a home or an apartment or a condo or something. And then the last one is ADA, and this is where so many claims come up because sometimes landlord asks about disabilities. Well, you don't ask about the disability. Even if there's an obvious disability, there's no need to ask about it. If they want to say something about the disability, then they can say something. For instance, you can have a policy that you don't allow pets in your premises. However, if someone needs an animal for a disability, then that trumps your position. And depending on what the situation is, and you have to grant that as an accommodation. So discrimination issues become very complicated, and so you want to get with your attorney whenever you see a discrimination issue come up. Don't try to take care of that one alone. That can cost you a lot of money, from $5,000 to $10,000 and much more. I've seen those things all over, and it's hard to navigate as a landlord who doesn't have a legal background and a legal background in discrimination. So we've got to be extremely careful on this whole issue. So again, contact your attorney. The other thing is we want to create an atmosphere, if it's a multifamily unit or even a single family, we want an atmosphere of just kindness and happiness. People are people. We're born as who we are. We didn't choose it. We are what we are. And so people are just trying to get a good place to live. And so let's be careful. I grew up in the South, back in the 60s when there was a lot of discrimination. It was a strange place in those days, and we've come a long way as a nation. So let's continue that and just treat people for what they are. My dad always said, treat people with respect and honor until they give you a reason not to. So with that, good luck, and just be careful.